Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Dr. Seth Larsen with SteadyMD. With May being Mental Health Awareness Month, we thought it'd be a good time to do a question and answer series about meditation, as this is a great way to improve people's mental health. There were a lot of people that submitted questions, but we picked a few of them here that I think will be very beneficial to all of you. Now, you're probably looking at me and saying, well, you're a physician. Why are you talking about meditation? So, I've actually had my own personal journey with meditation, did a little bit of it in med school and residency, um, but really developed into a more daily practice about 18 months ago when I was trained in mind body medicine. And since then, I have meditated almost every single day. I'm not perfect, not going to say I did it every day, but it's been absolutely transformative for me. And I think it can be for you as well. So we'll just get right into the questions then. And it starts out with who should meditate and why? And the short answer is everybody. There are a lot of benefits to meditation, which we'll get into, but really anybody can get something out of it. It allows us to slow down, it allows us to be present. Oftentimes in our lifestyles, we have this tendency to be either thinking about the next thing that's about to happen or looking back on something that's already happened. We very rarely spend time in the present moment. And that's one thing that meditation and mindfulness can teach us how to do. So everybody should do it. Everybody needs to do it, really. And that's one of the big reasons why, is to kind of slow down and exist in this moment. Now, another question that somebody had is they said that they felt really weird every time they try it. And is it really worth it? So it's very normal to feel weird about meditating at first. To be honest, that's why I didn't start doing it consistently right away, because I just felt kind of weird with it. Sitting down like that just didn't feel natural to me. And as long as you get into that habit and you keep going, it's totally worth it. And I'll tell you about why briefly here. The third question goes into, can it improve your health physically or just mentally? And what type of meditation is best for your health? So the physical benefits are pretty vast. And that's one of the things that made me get excited about meditation, is just the abundance of data on how helpful it can be. A couple of physical benefits are a decrease in blood pressure, improved pain management, improved recovery from exercise and training, uh, reduced frequency and severity of migraines, improvement in symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome. And there's actually been studies that have shown increased rate of wound healing after surgery, um, just with reducing that stress response by using techniques like mindfulness and meditation. It also has a lot of mental benefits. So decreased stress, improved sleep, better relationships because you're being more present with your partner, reduce symptoms of mental illness. This is the big one for a lot of us and why we talk about it in Mental Health Awareness Month. And people also get better focus on their tasks and become more efficient with work. If you're able to really be present in the moment, you can give 100% of your mind to what you're doing and do it really, really well. Now, what type of meditation is best for your health? There's really not a concrete answer to that. Anything that allows you to have a mindfulness practice is what's really beneficial for your health. And when I say mindfulness, I want to clarify that a little bit because that can often be a little bit confusing. Mindfulness is the ability to be present in the moment. It is to be mindful of what is going on around you and what is going on within you, rather than thinking about what happened yesterday, what happened tomorrow, what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes. It's all about pulling away from that and being in the present moment. The next question is if meditation is good for kids. It is absolutely good for kids. We have an epidemic of mental illness and attention deficit hyperactive disorder and things of that nature among our youth and our adults. And learning how to sit still and be mindful of your thoughts and emotions is really good for all of us, but especially kids. The fortunate thing is that although kids are not very good at sitting still, they're actually better at mindfulness than adults already. If you ever watch kids play, they are completely engrossed in what they're doing. They're not worried about bills. They're not worried about what other people think of them in the same way. Kids are actually already very good at being mindful, and it's something, unfortunately, that we can lose as adults. So when should you meditate? Is morning better than night? Anytime's a good time to meditate, but it differs really person to person. You can even do it multiple times per day. You're not going to overdose on meditation. You know, you can do it in the morning to set up the day. It's a great way to get in the right mindset, either before you go to work or when you go to work. I personally typically will do mine midday as kind of a break and a reset from the stress of my job. You can also do it after work or in the evening to kind of come down from your day and, allow yourself to be present with your family or whatever you're doing after work. And the other time you can do it is before bed. And the study's really, really strong on improvements in sleep with meditation and mindfulness. So before bed is a time where I have a lot of patients that they like to do it then. Now, where should you meditate? A quiet, safe place where you're unlikely to be disturbed is the best. You want to have the pets and the kids out of the room at that time. And it can be helpful for a lot of people, especially when it comes to developing habits, to set up a specific spot within their home or within their workplace to get into that mindset. You know, I have a little area that we set up in our guest room at home where I meditate when I'm at home. When I'm at work, I do it in my office. Sometimes I'll even do it just sitting in the front seat of my car. Obviously, stopped, not while you're driving, because that could get a little distracting and probably not the safest thing in the world. But really, any spot that's quiet, safe, and you're less likely to be disturbed is good for meditation. You can also do, once you're more advanced, moving meditations, mindful walks, and things like that, yoga, etc. But that's more as you get developed into practice. Now, how long is best to meditate is the next question. And the answer is as long as you want. Studies show benefit in as little as 10 minutes per day. But as you get more advanced, longer meditations can take on their own life and be their own interesting type of experience. And it's impossible, like I said, to overdose on meditation. You can't do it too much, unless, of course, you're doing it at the expense of the rest of your life, and then you may run into some problems there. Now, the next question is, do I recommend it with an app or with music or silence? And apps are definitely good for beginners. And anybody who's starting out meditating, unless you have some sort of formal meditation teacher, apps are the best way to go. They're easy. A lot of them are free. You get them on your phone. You have somebody to walk through the meditation practice with you. And they have timers on them. There's a few that are good that I like. I use Headspace primarily, but things like Waking Up, Calm, Oak, a lot of these apps are out on the phone, and they're definitely good things to look into. Music can be okay. Music is a traditional way to meditate when it comes to chanting and things of that nature. The Gregorian monks, you look at certain types of Buddhist meditation, they do that as well. Binaural beats are something you can get on your phone. Instrumental stuff can be okay, but I find with beginners especially, the music can be distracting from the process, and it can kind of defeat the purpose if you're getting too distracted, because then you can kind of lose that mindfulness training. Silent meditation is the most advanced type of meditation, and it is a very, very unique experience once you get good at it. And it's something that I highly recommend once you're able to do it. But I wouldn't start out that way because it's more likely to get you frustrated in that sense. Now, how should you sit for meditation? That is an interesting question. If you look at different meditation and mindfulness traditions from throughout the world, they do different things. Um, and there's different types of meditation that can be used in different positions. But for your general populace, for the people who are just learning meditation, I say whatever's comfortable. I wouldn't stress about it. You can do it even lying flat on your back. You can do it sitting up in a chair. You can do it in a lotus position on the floor. You can do just regular sitting with your legs out on the floor. It really doesn't matter as long as you're doing it properly and you're doing your mindfulness exercise. Like I said, as you get more advanced, you can do moving meditations like walking and yoga and things like that. Now, next question, person tried it a few times and it helped, but they can never get it to stick. How do you make meditation a habit? So the best way to make anything a habit is to set your intention up front. Why? Why do you want to meditate? Why are you doing this? And once you have that why, you figure out what the best way is to remind yourself. I've had people that like to make checks on their calendar. I've had people that like to put a reminder in their phone. That's what I do because even I still forget sometimes. You can get a buddy or a partner to meditate with. They don't even have to be in person. You can have them on the phone and be like, hey, did you meditate today? Or whatever the case may be. You can also go to classes and things of that nature that can be helpful. And the last question that we're going to answer is, I think, the primary question that I get more than any other one about meditation. And it is that the person who wrote this question, I've been trying to meditate, and every time I sit down, my thoughts keep racing, and I end up stressing out more than it actually helps me. How do I stop thinking and de-stress? And that last part is the most important. Don't stop thinking. It's a really common misconception with meditation that you need to clear your mind, when really it's the furthest thing from the truth. What you're really doing in meditation is focusing. It's a very gentle focus on being present in this moment. For example, let's try to stop thinking right now instead. Don't think about an elephant. I guarantee you every single one of you just thought about an elephant there. So don't fight it. You're going to think. But it's all about bringing you back to your point of focus, bringing you back to the present moment, and letting those thoughts go, letting those thoughts fly by, not getting stuck on them. Because what we often do is we will start thinking about these things. And I still do this too, even though I meditate very frequently. I'll have a thought come in and then I'll chase it, and before you know it, you've been thinking about some rabbit hole of nonsense for 15 minutes and you've lost your whole meditation period. So instead of beating yourself up over that or trying not to have any thoughts, you find yourself getting distracted and you bring yourself back to center. You bring yourself back to your meditative focus. In Buddhist tradition, they talk about the beginner's mind when it comes to meditation. And that beginner's mind is especially important for this stopping thinking thought process. When you have that thought, when you get distracted, you come back gently to your point of focus and you don't beat yourself up over it. Beginners are going to make mistakes. And if you remind yourself that you are always going to make mistakes in meditation, then you're going to do much better with it. So, like I said, don't stop thinking because you can't. Just learn how to train your thinking to be doing what you're doing, staying in this present moment. So those were the big questions we wanted to answer about meditation today. I could go into a lot more depth on all of those. I can nerd out about this stuff forever. So please feel free to write something in the comments or, reach out to me and we can talk some more about this. As I said, meditation is one of the most effective drugs in the world and you can't overdose on it. So best of luck with your mindfulness practice, and you just let us know at SteadyMD if we can do anything for you. Take care.